Video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview. I'm here with Josh Blenkiron. Hopefully I pronounced that right. How are we doing, mate?
I'm very well. How are you, mate? You
I'm
alright?
doing very well, thank you. It's a pleasure to speak to you here today, and am I right in saying you're a professional boxer who's just turning over now?
You're correct, 100%. Yeah, just turning over now, hoping to make my debut in November's the game.
hmm
Just get the ball rolling and whatnot. So, touch wood.
Of course, good to hear. So, start with the question which I always like to start off with. Why did you start boxing?
With me, I was always in the gym since I was like 5, 6 year old because me dad owns Dunstan Boxing Club.
hmm
And I always used to go down, mess about and whatnot. But I think it was about 10 when I just said, oh, look, I want to give it a go. I was always in the gym, never training, like, but I was always there.
hmm
And I was 10. I just said, look, let's have a go. And I had my first one, just jumped straight into a bout, no skills or anything like that, straight in when I was 11.
hmm
The club home show.
hmm
So it was my dad, who was one of the coaches, well, the main coach at Dunstan ABC, who got us in,
hmm
which is good. So we've got quite a strong relationship, me and him, so it's good. Um, and first fight at the Federation Brewery when I was 11 year old,
Wow.
22 now, so
hmm Yeah.
it's gone well.
Of course, no, that's great, and it's good to see that you've got the kind of family support around you. Sometimes you don't always see families being the most keen to get their kids into boxing, but is it nice to have that support around you?
It is. It's good. Obviously, it helps pushes. If I'm slacking a bit,
hmm
he's not afraid to tell us. You know what I mean. So
hmm
you've got my mum as well. She sort of tries to look through her hands when I'm fighting,
hmm
trying to look away, but she enjoys it as well. So it's all good. Um, and it's a boxing sort of family we've got, which always helps in it with the diet side of
hmm
things and the training, and someone that pushes 24/7.
hmm Of course, and just from your amateur time, what would you say was your biggest achievement?
My biggest achievement in the sport so far is winning the elite time area belt,
hmm
so the area belt.
hmm
We've got two, so you've got the development belt, which I managed to win outright, and then the elite belt, which I boxed like 4 times for it. I think I
hmm
won. Sorry, 5 times I boxed. I think I won 4 times. With that, I've got it now, but obviously with this turnover,
hmm
um, I am going to be giving that up. So um, that's unfortunate. I didn't get it. It was the reason I've got to give it up is because I think it was over like a 5 month period.
hmm
I was I had like 5 kids pull out
Right.
who were lighter fighters for it.
hmm
So it was just waiting, staying in shape, training, missing, going out and whatnot.
hmm
Um, and for nothing really, because obviously they kept pulling out for various reasons. So I thought it was time to turn over. So I thought I'd give it up.
hmm Of course, and a question which I always like to ask young fighters, especially, and I mean, you've kind of touched upon it a little bit there. Can it be frustrating and possibly difficult at times to maybe block out the distractions of stuff like going out and seeing friends and stuff like that? The normal things you kind of class with being young when you are kind of focused on training and stuff like that.
It is difficult. It is. I mean, it's half the battle if you love what you're doing in it. I
Mm-hmm.
suppose with like training and whatnot. Um, but a lot of my pals and close friends anyway enjoy the sport as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of them do like boxing, some of them do MMA and whatnot as well. So it seems like the fight season we're all there
Mm-hmm.
together. We do go to the match and whatnot, but we'll end up sitting there and drinking water or a diet pop, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's good to have that as well. But it can be difficult, you know, sometimes missing birthday parties and missing your own birthdays and stuff. So it is difficult.
Mm. Of course, no, it's amazing to hear that you have a kind of group of friends that have that similar interest, and how important is it to have that kind of good, positive environment around you?
The game, you do get a bit of a buzz off that as
Mm,
well. You know, you haven't got like people there trying to tempt you to eat cake or come out on the drink. So you've got that there. They push you as well. So you're not always training on your own. If the gym's closed, you just get one of your pals to come and train with you.
mhm,
Um, and you sort of bounce off each other as well with the crack and the talk around the sport, which is always good.
mm. Of course, and like you said, you're just turning over now. Why, other than the fact, was it just the main reason was just the fact that you couldn't get fights, or is there any other particular reason why you chose now?
One of the big reasons was probably the money aspect as well, isn't it? It's always a winner.
Yeah.
I sold a lot of tickets home and away. I've got a very, like I said, I've got a very good following, a good group of fans who come watch us, and so I was selling tickets. But obviously, in the amateurs, you don't like get a reward off that, do you? You know, in terms of financial side of things. So having that there as well, or why not make a few quid for it? Maybe last sort of 6 fights or whatnot have been sort of good, tough fights as well. You know, sort of crowd on the feet and whatnot. So you may as well get paid for them fights, which is good. And that was the idea as well. So
yeah, most definitely. And do you know, going into the professionals, the kind of importance of selling tickets and how important that is?
Yeah, no, 100%. I know you get the opportunities, don't you, off selling your tickets. So that's the aim. Hopefully, get on a big show again in the future and have a good army behind us who will be absolutely mental.
Brilliant stuff. Can't wait. Well, of course, you've got your fight coming up November 4th. It's just recently been announced, and it's good long camp for you. Is it nice to have such a good long preparations, or are you just eager to get in there at this point?
It is. I always like to get it done, because it's the dreaded wait, isn't it? Of just waiting for the day to come. But I think with that, like you say, it gives you more preparation, a lot more training, a lot more sort of getting fitter, touching up on the sort of the technique side of things as well, and that extra round as well plays a big part, doesn't it? So it's another sort of few minutes that I'm not used to. So just drilling all that, but obviously, with the next sort, I think it's 7-8 weeks that we've got now, so we'll be ready.
Good to hear. Well, it's on a pretty stacked card, a kind of Middlesbrough-based card to an extent. Is it nice to also be on quite a big card with lots of local talent on? I mean, of course, you've got William Howe and Jimmy Tyers on there, and Kerry Haley, and some good big names on there. Is it nice to be on a quite stacked card?
100%. It's always good to have like local fighters on there, and it's always been the case as well where the fighters from Thailand, we always cheer each other on, always have support each other, even in the championship. So if you've got London clubs coming up, you're going to be supporting the Thailand fighters, just the way we are up here, But yeah, the likes of Jimmy and Will and whatnot, and Kerry, like you say, there, all good athletes on, so should be good. There should be a few there as well. It should be even better. The atmosphere should be good.
Indeed. And is it kind of, you see a lot of fighters, they start off on the local shows, then they move on to the kind of big shows, and they go London or America or different countries, and then they end up coming back to where they kind of started? And is that maybe the path where you're looking and going, maybe one day I'll bring my own really big nights back to, Newcastle?
100%, 100%. Like I say, if the main aim is like, obviously I'm a massive football fan as well, get a fight at St James's Park. I mean, there's enough talent up here to start with to get one there now. I think how many boxing fans there is, mixed with the football fans especially. We're definitely looking like Lewis Ritson, for instance. He was massive, massive numbers, and he was a massive Newcastle United fan. So my aim will be to box at St James's Park.
Indeed, and
that is the aim.
We'll touch a little bit more about the football kind of aspects in just a moment, but just for yourself as a fighter, what would you say makes yourself interesting as a fighter?
With me, I can box on the back foot, I can switch, south orthodox, but also if I need to, I can sort of have a little tear up, which I try and avoid. That never does any good, does it? If you can help it. But yeah, so I've got a bit of everything. I like to think in the arsenal, so that is something that. But it's mainly boxing. To be fair, it's always mainly the boxing side.
Good to hear. And for the moment, turning professional, what is your main motivation for the sport?
At the minute, like I say, it's all the people that have bought tickets in the amateur game, giving them sort of days out, days away and stuff, because they will come and follow us. So it's looking after them as well. who supported us from when I was 11 years old to sort of turn over now. So all in it together. But again, just all the younger lads at the gym as well. All the juniors, they're all sort of look up to the bigger lads. So it's just showing them that it's possible, hopefully, to turn over in boxing these sort of big shows with big names and stuff, and that's where I want to be.
Of course, and you touched upon there how you do have them kind of younger fighters coming up in the gym, just like you were back in the day. And do you see in certain fighters, like in the gym, you see maybe little bits of yourself when you were that age, that maybe added excitement or anything like that? And do you like to kind of give off your own advice when you can?
100%. Yeah, it's always good, the spars, down the gym, the doghouse, with the juniors and whatnot. So, and again, they're not shy, so they'll come and ask not just myself, but most of the other seniors for advice. And I have got my coaching license as well, so when I'm not boxing, I do want to be helping, with the corners and stuff this year, hopefully, for the new season.
That's brilliant. No, that's great to hear. And so, for yourself, professional boxing wise, what is your aspirations for sport? How far do you believe you can go?
Always the same answer you'll probably get is world level, isn't it? You want to become a world champion. Otherwise, what's the point? But for me, like I say, get a few fights under my belt. Take it step by step, and then hopefully, like you say, I'd be happy to win an area title. That would just be an achievement in itself, because 11 years ago, 12 years ago even, I was just down the gym kicking a football about in the ring. So to be here now, it's like, let's go.
Of course. And I mean, like you said, you had a little bits of frustrations in the amateurs. You've now got a professional date. It's a couple of months away, but when you are getting the ball rolling, are you wanting to be as active as possible?
100%. Like I say, I need to be. You go off the boil if you're not. If you sat around just twiddling your thumbs, it's hard to stay motivated, isn't it? So if I've got a fight date, in 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whenever it is, I'll make sure I'm on the road, running and training hard. And it's a whole new ball game, isn't it? Now it's sort of your job, so got to take it a little bit more serious.
Of course. And just to speak about the shirt you've got on there, Newcastle United. Of course, season's going pretty well for them so far. What have you made so far?
All the season so far. Let's say we've had a few fixtures, to be fair, with the opening sort of season, but kind of forget how we started. Like, what was it, 2 years ago? How far we came under the new ownership and whatnot. It's a buzz around the city, so we don't expect too much. But now in the Champions League, especially, some good nights for the fans. So there's again linked in with the boxing. There's a massive buzz around the city. Not just for the football, just everybody's on cloud nine at the minute, which is great. And you see even on the, like I mentioned, on the boxing cards in the past, Ritson fighting their headline in the arena and stuff, walking out with the Newcastle theme tune and stuff. It's just everyone's buzzing. So that's the aim. That is the aim.
Of course. And unfortunately, just a couple of weeks back, we saw Cyrus Patterson lose. He was one of the kind of big names for Newcastle at the moment, but we've also got the likes of Pat McCormack, Lewis Ritson as well. Do you feel like Matchroom, by the end of this year, maybe start of next year, there'll be that fight between possibly Pat McCormack, Lewis Ritson, or maybe just another big card brought back there?
I think that would be a cracking fight, wouldn't it? It would bring a lot of numbers, not just obviously around the northeast, but from all over. I think it would be a great fight. It'd be toe to toe. It'll be very exciting. Now I will be there. Hopefully boxing, but if not, I'll be there spectating. But that'll be a barnstorm of that.
Indeed. And I'll leave with this final question, which I always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Is there anything you'd like to shout out?
Shout out to all my sponsors. Check out my socials for all my sponsors and whatnot. I've got a few to reel off, but shout out to all the coaches down Dunstan ABC as well, all the boxers, all the juniors, and my new trainer as well, Marty Mull, who's going to be training us in the pro game. Obviously, shout out to to the amateur coaches, Stevie Dallow, and my dad Ernie, who's still going to be part of the team, obviously along the journey anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Good stuff. Well, thank you very much, Josh. It's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck with your professional debut, and maybe a little bit further along down the line we can come and have another catch up.
100%. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it.
Brilliant stuff.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. And so if you're on the round here and you're not subscribed, please do so. Like video if you need like video, and thanks for watching.